Hi, so today I'm going to show you how to make fishing line strings. So I made myself this little jig here. The distance between this is roughly a bit over half of what is between the tail piece and the middle of the Tagelharpa body. Okay, so what we will need is super glue, a very thin sewing thread, and fishing line. Let's start with it. Let's get started. This is let's see, here you can see what it is. 0.20 millimeters. That's the best in my opinion, and it needs to be a nylon, of course. So what I first do is that I attach one here, and right now I'm gonna make the third string because I'm making strings for a 3-string Tagelharpa. So I'm going to the thickest string right now, and that is going to be 27 strands. So technically you could like measure and cut and measure and cut, but I think that this method is the best. So I put this 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. Once that is done, I put my I got a loose thread here, right? But I put my finger in between these, right? And I hold this one with the index finger and my thumb, but I also hold at the other side. So then I cut where my thumb is, like here in the beginning. And what I got now are 26 strings at the same size. Right? So now comes the part with the sewing thread. Here I actually just cut it at the same size. So the size is like this. So then I take my sewing thread and I cut 4 at the same length as the horsehair. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then I make sure that I take all the strands that I have, and I make sure that they start more or less at the same place, right? So then I just make one knot right here. Whoop. And like this. That's it. Technically I could already hook these up on the tail piece and they would work, but I like to make them a bit more complicated. I add some super glue on it just so I can keep these in line, because the thing is that the fishing line has a tendency to slide, and if it slides, well, then you won't have nice strings. Super glue is a very efficient glue, so yeah, it's already dry. So now I can cut here. Now what I want to make is that I want to make this hook here, so I can put it on the micro tuners on the tailpiece. So here are some pictures. This was explained to me by Mauri Juan Barmentlo, and it's inspired on how Per Rundberg does his strings. But basically what I do first is that I take a thread and I just put them like here between my legs, like this. and I hold it until it's very, very tense. And then here I want to make a knot. Just one knot is enough. There's no glue required here either. There. So like this. So now this sewing thread is, I made a knot with the sewing thread under the other knot that we made before, so it's made here. Then, like I said, I hold this between my legs until it's tense, and I just start rolling like this. And I hold this tense so I can just roll it until it reaches my kneecaps. The strings will go a bit crazy, but that's not really a problem. So now I just continue going, do. And once I reach my kneecaps, I give myself a bit of more sewing thread, and I just continue going, because as you can see right now it's like here, but I wanted to have a bit longer. So as you can see now, this looks like this. What I do is that I flip it until to make a hook, and then just start giving it more rounds again. I cut it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make like 2 or 3 knots here with this little tiny thread. So that's 1 knot. I'm going to add 3. Why not? Why not? And 3, and that's it. That's how you make professional fishing line strings. You can now take this, just rip it apart. Boop. There we go. In the next video I'm going to show you how to hook them up to your Tagelharpa and to tune them. So this is how I string them up. So like I said, I have this little knot here, and this is going to be the middle string. So what I do is that I hook up, I hook up this thingy here, just on the micro tuner, right? And I don't want the strings to be way too long, because then it will just be too much up here. So what I do is that I make it like, I don't know, 1 finger longer. But first I make a normal knot. I kind of like comb this with my fingers, no big deal. I make a knot here, and then I just make sure that the knot ends at the place where I want it to be. So like here, you see? And then whoop. Here is optional to add super glue. I just added just for the lulz, because I like to give this a cut after. So that's why I added, so that the fishing line doesn't slide on this part either. So then one thing you have to keep in mind is that you need to twist the horsehair, well, sorry, the fishing line strings, and they need to be in the same direction. So what we do in this case is that I twist them between 12 and 24, depends on the instrument. On this one I'm just going to do like 24. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And the cool thing about this now is that you can see that they have this pattern that Tagelharpa strings are supposed to have. So then I just start tuning. And this has to be, yeah, okay, I'm tuning it right. I hold it here down, sorry, this one with the knot down, because I want the the string to go over it, so it can kind of like choke it in a way. So let's do that and let's start tuning. If you have tuning pegs that are traditional, then they usually are like the peg and they have like this cut in the middle. I'll show you a picture of what I mean. And then you just hook them up also. If you by any chance have tuning pegs that have holes in them, then it's a bit different. Then what I would do is that I would just, instead of making a knot, I would just like glue the end and cut it diagonally so it could fit inside the hole. So now I've hooked up all the strings. Very nice, huh? So if I usually tune it by default on FCF, but you can go down to DAD, usually not lower than that, because it's an alto Tagelharpa all in all. But if I go like this now on the light F, and I start playing it, you can hear that it's gonna fall out of tune already. See? So a way to stretch out your strings much faster is to by pushing them down. Push them down like this. Don't worry, they won't break. So. Press them really hard down. There it is. So yeah, press them down and tune them until they actually stay in tune. So this is now in tune.